contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests. When we first moved to Komaki about 30 years ago, we were soon introduced to the joys of the local baboon troop cavorting on our lawn. And if we were rather careless and left open doors or windows, they would cavort in the kitchen too. We thought that they had a time schedule and they only passed through in the mid-afternoon on their way home from a day at the beach, back up the mountain. We soon had a rude awakening. One morning, very early, I had gone to work already, a few kilometers down the road. My husband was working in the garage underneath the house, doing a few things before he left for work. We live in a wooden house, and so anything that moves upstairs sounds like a herd of elephants. And not expecting baboons, when he heard a commotion upstairs, his first thought was, burglar! This was very exciting for him because he never had a burglar before. So what does he do? He goes and gets the little gun that he's never shot before. And he says, now I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to confront this burglar. Obviously he's in the house, and how dare he? Goes upstairs with a gun. Inside, looks in the kitchen, and there's a baboon. He's even more frightened. My husband doesn't know what to do. He can't get the connection between burglar and baboon. Fires the gun. Well, it didn't hit the baboon, fortunately. The baboon rushes down the passage, trying to get away. He's now trapped. My husband is between him and the door, and the baboon, its first reflex, when it's trapped, is to relax its bowels. So already, apart from the kitchen, we had this layer of baboon poo heading down the passage. My husband fires another shot. This also missed, thank goodness. The poor baboon spread eagle against the wall. Steps back, says, please leave. The baboon rushes out the house. My husband looks around the kitchen. Disaster. Right, phone the wife. Come home immediately. The baboons have destroyed the house. You've got to come home now. I've got to go to work. My husband has always assumed that his authority supersedes any boss I've ever had. There's no question of me not coming straight home. The boss understood this because he'd met him. And rather than having to clean up the mess 12 hours later or so, he said, right, go home and sort stuff. So I get home, my husband's gone. Go to the kitchen. Well, it was like rollerblading across a skating rink. Every kind of grain, rice, flour, oats, barley, split peas, anything that can go in the crack between two floorboards was on the floor. Every cupboard was open, every container empty. The banana peels were neatly next to the fruit bowl. The fridge was open and a bite taken out of various things, so all of that had to just be thrown away. And anybody who's ever had a baboon invasion will know that it all took less than 5 minutes. They don't take long. It was one baboon, no problem. And in the middle of this floor of grain were 12 eggs broken to make a nice pancake. I didn't know where to start. I just thought, no, I can't do that now. Let's look for the bullets. Where are the bullets? Right. Okay. Somewhere. My husband did tell me he shot 2 bullets. I wasn't pleased. I looked down the passage, and there through the vertical blinds was a neat set of holes all the way through each individual blind. Okay, this is not something unusual in our house. There's a ricochet mark on the wall where the bullet hit it there. And then at the end of the passage, a wooden house, rhino board walls, nice hole, right through. And it lodged in the wooden paneling outside. So it's still there, but we've never bothered to open it up. Then I've got to look for the other bullet. And I looked and looked at it. I really fancy myself as a forensic detective. Okay, couldn't find it anywhere. I thought maybe the baboon had taken it after all, but there was no blood. So I thought, okay. A couple of weeks later, I pulled aside a curtain, and there, in the metal frame of a large sliding door, the bullet had lodged in the rubber. And it's still there 20 years later, because the metal frame had not been bent, the glass hadn't cracked, but the bullet is there. Absolutely perfect. And an Olympic shooter couldn't have done better. So we found the bullets, then we had to clean up the mess. Well, me. I cleaned up the mess. Anybody who's had children and cleaned up nappies, that's nothing. So, as a result of all of that, the insurance company paid out for 2 chairs that were broken, a set of blinds that had holes in from bullets. We didn't tell them where the holes came from. We were paid 2,000 Rand for destroyed food, and 20 years ago that was quite a lot of money. My husband got rid of the gun immediately. What use is a gun that shoots around corners? The barrel was only this long. It's gone. He promised never to shoot at a baboon again. But I'd actually shoot at anything. And I promised to keep all the doors and windows closed so I would never have to clean up that mess again. Of course, that hasn't happened. They've been in many times since then, because baboons are much cleverer than us. They're quiet, crafty, and they know where you keep everything. They watch from the neighbor, and they're in as soon as you've sat down. So thank you very much.